We are very blessed as an organization to have a lot of great partners. You can see our 2025 leadership level partners will be updating for 26 soon. Um, but we have, in addition to them, Lena's going to put in the chat a link to all of our funding partners. Many of you who are on this call are partners of ours, and we are very appreciative of your support. We do a lot of events that are, all call for anybody in the upstate, but we do a few that are specifically for our funding partners and our board members. And our first one of those is actually coming up on February 5th. We're excited we will be at One Spartanburg in Spartanburg for our pizza and networking event, which is sponsored by Parker Poe. And our featured guest for this one will be the CEO of One Spartanburg, Alan Smith. And we're going to ask Alan to not just talk about One Spartanburg, but also share a little bit about his career journey. For anyone who knows Alan, he and I came to the upstate at just about the same time, about 16 years ago. So he has really gone from being one of the young up and coming leaders to be one of the great leaders in our region. We're excited for him to share about his experiences and things he's learned along the way. So if you are not a TATT Top funding partner, we certainly would be glad to have you become a partner and join us. You can let me or Lena know about that, and we'll be happy to get you signed up. For those who are partners, we sent out a invitation earlier this week, and we'll be following up with additional ones. If you didn't get one, please be sure and send it to us. Matt has reminded me with his post to everybody with the Happy New Year. If you want to put your name and company and contact information in the chat, you're welcome to do so. It's a great way to see who is here, and especially if you're new to TATT at the Top or new to this TATT chat, would be glad to have you join and hopefully can connect with others who are part of the call. We have an e-newsletter that we send out every other Tuesday. The first one for this year went out earlier this week, and Lena is going to put a link in the chat if you would like to sign up for our newsletter if you are not already receiving it. So today our topic is one that I think is really exciting and important for the upstate, and that is tourism marketing. That has become such a big part of the upstate's ways of introducing itself to people who eventually bring companies here to our region. Has become such a valuable component of the region, and there are a lot of different organizations who are doing great work in this field, whether it be city and county organizations or at the regional level. And so today we're going to hear from four of those. Going to have some brief remarks from each, and then do a kind of a roundtable discussion. So if you have questions when we get to that point, we'd be glad to have you join us for that. But our four guests are Billy Dunlap, who is part of One Spartanburg, which does the tourism marketing for the Spartanburg County region or area. Heath Dillard, who is with Visit Greenville, handling obviously Greenville. Kelly McWhorter from Discover Upcountry, Discover Greenwood, which does the Greenwood area. And then Tim Todd from Discover Upcountry, which is more of the regional. And Tim will talk a little bit about how they were formed as regional entities before many, if not all, of the local CVB started, and the role that Discover Upcountry plays there. So we're going to start with giving each one a chance to share, like I said, a little bit about what they're doing. And Lena, if you'll take that slide off, we'll let Billy start from Spartanburg. Billy, if you want to share your screen and then share a little bit with us.
All right. Hope everybody can see my screen.
Yes.
All right. So my goal for this was just to really kind of give you an idea of what's going on in Spartanburg, what is things that we're currently working on, give you a kind of backtrack a little bit. So I've been in Spartanburg, July will be 4 years, serving as the Chief Tourism Development Officer. So all right, is my screen progressing? Because I'm seeing two different.
No, we're still seeing the initial screen, Billy.
All
It's
right.
not in the mode for presentation mode.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Right. Let's try it again. Let me back out of this and try it again. I apologize for that. Having a few technical difficulties. If you want to go to Heath, I'll be glad to allow him to go ahead and go, and that gives me time to figure out why my screen won't progress.
Okay. Well, why don't we do that? Heath, are you ready to go?
We'll see.
And
Let's try it. I'll see
we'll
if I can
see
have.
see
I'll
if
see
you
if I
have better
have.
luck with the
I'll, I'll s-
technology than
yeah,
Billy
I'll
does.
see if I have better luck. We'll go. Okay, is it sharing? And I'll try to do my presentation mode. How
Yep.
about that? Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Yes.
And
It's
does
in
it
presentation
and
mode.
it's advancing?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, I'll give Billy some time to work out the IT
Thank
on
you.
his side. Good morning, everybody, and Happy New Year for those I haven't had a chance to meet. I'm Heath Dillard, as Dean said, and the CEO at Visit Greenville SC, and I've been in the organization a little more than 3 years now. Grew up in the upstate in Spartanburg, but have spent the last 18 years before this role in Charlotte, North Carolina. The last 10 plus of those with the tourism organization in Charlotte. So it's been great to get back. I still have a lot of friends and family in the upstate, so it's great to have our family back near some grandparents and be with friends and family, and an opportunity to promote such an incredible destination. So I'll just go through a handful of the things that are updates over the last year plus, give you a sneak peek at some of the things coming up here in the new year. And as we get to the end of the chat today, happy to take any questions that you might have. Well, I always start with our mission. For those that don't know us, Tim will tell you that we are a 42-year-old-ish, I guess, or we will be this summer, a 42-year-old organization that has gone through a few different iterations over the time, from the Greenville CVB to that Greenville to where we are today with Visit Greenville SC. I talk about our mission in sort of three sections. The first two-thirds of the words there, while the words might be different, are largely what our organization has done for that 42-year history, which is to maximize Greenville's visitor economy by developing and promoting exceptional visitor experiences. That's what we do and how we do it. And while the tactics and strategies have probably shifted over that 42 years, it's been the foundation of what we've done. What's really changed over the last 3 or 4 years is our why. And when I was coming on board, the organization was undergoing a strategic plan. It included a lot of feedback from our local community, thousands of surveys and focus groups and one-on-one interviews. And what the community was saying is that they wanted more out of Visit Greenville. That the organization had done a nice job of elevating Greenville to a place where people were aware of it as a travel destination, but they wanted us to think more broadly and be a better community partner, and that's what we've tried to do. And so the last third are really those words that we do those things in an effort to elevate the quality of life and prosperity for our community. And what I would tell you today is that we have put together a staff that wakes up every day thinking about that why. And that's what motivates us to do our job. And that's the lens by which we do all of our work. And I hope that you see that in the subsequent slides. And it's why we want to do good work, because we believe tourism has a positive role to play in community development and prosperity. So We're looking at 2026, but a quick look back. In 2024, visitors came into Greenville County and created a $2.5 billion economic impact. They spent more than $1.7 billion directly with local businesses. So quite a substantial part of our local economy here. I think of the power of tourism in a few different ways. One is it creates this incremental demand that we as local residents could not sustain on our own. So it allows us to have the kind of restaurants that we get to enjoy as local residents. It sustains the high quality musical and sports and entertainment acts, museums and art and cultural facilities that we have. So it's really this influx of demand that would not exist without visitors coming into our market. We will get updated 2025 numbers sometime in April. And as we turn the page into May and celebrate the U.S. National Travel and Tourism Week, we will work with the Greenville Drive this year. And we're continuing to evolve how we celebrate the hospitality and tourism community here in Greenville County. So looking forward to those numbers. We expect to see yet another record year, which will be the fourth consecutive year coming out of COVID, which is really exciting to see. That visitor spending also creates massive amounts of taxes. So in 2024, the visitor spending in our bars and restaurants and hotels and shops and museums and entertainment venues created over $200 million in state and local taxes. And when we think about what our local municipalities and our states do with that tax funding, it's equivalent to $931 per Greenville County household, which is just an exceptional way to say we get to enjoy this high quality of life with all the ways that we've invested in our community from a municipal government standpoint, largely subsidized by visitors who are spending that money in our market. With all the technological innovation and AI and everything that we talk about from a technology standpoint, tourism and hospitality is still very much an industry centered on human connection. It's still a massive labor force. Hospitality itself employs more than 50,000 people in the Greenville MSA, and tourism visitor spending specifically supports 1 in every 25 jobs in Greenville County, and has put more than $650 million of wages and income back into our local households, funding those essential things like housing, childcare, transportation, healthcare, et cetera. So that's the tourism industry at large. Our organization has also been hard at work to make sure that it remains healthy and viable. Our marketing team has about a $6 million media budget annually. They're able to put the Greenville message in front of over 20 million households across the United States. Our effort we measure on an annual basis specifically influenced the 1.5 million trips that would not have happened otherwise. So we're really careful not to try to take credit for travel in general, but try to understand the specific work of our organization and how it amplifies the community and creates tourism that would not have otherwise come. That effort created a $453 million economic impact in fiscal year 25. So our fiscal year runs July to June, so June 30th, 2025. And that spending created almost $34 million of state and local taxes. A large part of Visit Greenville's history has been centered on PR and earned media. We think that'll only become more important as consumers utilize AI and those types of technology to find information about potential destinations, that third-party credibility that earned media gives us. We had 170 pieces of media coverage that created almost $54 million of advertising value equivalent. So that says for us to be in places like Southern Living, Food and Wine, HGTV, New York Times, and some of these really big publications, it would cost our organization $54 million for the same kind of exposure. And we're able to do that by inviting journalists into our community, letting Greenville do what it does, which is offer a great experience, and having these journalists go home and write about us from their own eyes. We've also continued to grow our social media following. 272,000 media followers across the different platforms. That continues to grow, and it continues to be a place that we can reiterate those messages from paid and earned media, over 105 million impressions in fiscal 25. And then this number is dated already. Almost 15,000 people every single day go to visit greenvillesc.com, either looking for information that might inspire their trip to Greenville, or they've already decided to come here and they're looking for how to make the most of their experience and their time while they're in the community. And we become the conduit from that interest in traveling to Greenville to those small and local businesses that deliver on that experience that we've promised through our sales, marketing, and PR. On the sales side, our sales team was on the road more than 30 weeks last year collectively. We also have started to pivot a little bit. We know that Greenville sells itself better in person than it can ever sell in a Las Vegas exhibit hall. And so last year we invited over 200 meeting planners to come see Greenville for themselves. That has paid massive dividends. We booked more than 270 events and 185,000 group room nights and almost 250,000 attendees across all of those events. Our group business team booked business worth over $150 million in economic impact and generated more than $11 million in state and local taxes from the direct spending of those efforts. We have the third leg of our stool is our destination experiences team. They're the team that takes the baton when the sales team is successful. They work with our local businesses to ensure that experiences are really high. They work on about half of those events annually, as you see there, 133 events serviced by this team. And what is astounding is that people leave Greenville willing to tell their friends and colleagues and coworkers that this is a great place to host events with a 98 net promoter score, which is just really, really incredible. The other thing that they've done is the visitor experience team has created a program called Certified Tourism Ambassadors. And so what we wanted to do was create people who would be brand advocates for Greenville, both on their own and as people were in our community. And that number is also already dated, as we are certifying another 30 this morning upstairs as I speak, and we are well over 625 to date. So these are people who are servers, who are front desk people at hotels, but it also includes public safety officers, parking garage attendants, real estate agents, and retirees who just are out and about in the community, who love Greenville. They call it home, and they want to help people have a great time while they're here. It includes about a 200 or 300 page pre-read from everything on the history of Greenville and the revitalization, to where you can go to find resources to make sure people know where to go eat, where to park, where to go buy concert tickets or whatever, or simply tips on customer service, how to help people find directions, etc. And so we're really proud that the local community has wanted to engage with us in that way. And then finally, I'll just wrap on one of the ways in which the community asked us to take a broader lens. Is I think for the vast majority of our organization's history, we saw ourselves as a heads in beds organization. And as Dean said, tourism can be the front porch for broader economic development. We very much believe sort of in this flywheel that if you build a place that people want to visit, you'll build a place that people naturally want to live. The future of business development and recruitment is going to be a race for talent. And so if you've created a place that many of the same amenities that create a great place to visit are the same amenities that create places to live. And so if you build a place people want to live, then you'll build a place people want to work. And if you build a place people want to work, you'll build a place businesses have to be. And if we can recruit the businesses, their vendors and suppliers, their customers, and their remote employees will have to visit, and we'll sort of go full circle. We've measured for the last 3 years our impact on many of those traits. So we never talk about, as an organization, being a place to relocate a business or start a career or raise a family. But there's this natural halo effect that happens when people see our advertising. They also have this perception lift of Greenville as a place to own or start a business or start a career or raise a family. And so Jill here, I use Jill, who was a Facebook follower. I won't read the whole thing to you, but she sort of takes you through this in a really short comment. A couple years ago, she had leveraged our website and our visitor guide to plan a family trip, disparate family members around the region. And Greenville was the place that they wanted to come together for Easter weekend. She left having such a good time. She wanted to come back without the kids, with just her husband. And more importantly, there at the very end, I think really what sums it all up is just to say that if her junior in college had to get a job in any city, she would want it to be Greenville. So I think that shows the power of that flywheel that I just talked about. And then I'll end by giving you a quick sneak peek into the new year. So in March, we have long been doing basketball with the SEC women. They will be back in early March with 8 sessions and 15 games. Really excited to be in year 4 of our current contract term with them. We have a contract through 2028 as of now, and we'll continue to work on expanding that. Last year's 5-day tournament generated $19.5 million of economic impact. We'll get a week-long break, and then we'll host the NCAA first and second round men's tournament. So March Madness will be back here for the first time since 2022. We'll have 3 sessions and 6 games over those 3 sessions. And what I'm really proud about is, of all the first and second round sites across the United States, Greenville sold more tickets faster than anywhere in the United States. We're completely sold out. We have no idea, obviously, who the teams are that are going to be here. But we're one of the only sites in the Southeast, so we can be sure to have number 1 or number 2 seeds of very high caliber, much like we did in 2022. And I've listed some of those teams for you there. And then Top Chef Carolinas. So something that we worked really hard on in 2024 and 2025 came to fruition. We had Top Chef here for a couple of weeks in September. Where they filmed and what they did while here is still under wraps. But I'm proud to say that in March or April of this year, Top Chef Carolinas, which is season 23, will begin to air. And it'll feature Greenville and Charlotte, North Carolina, over the course of its 16 episodes. And it'll just continue to help us leverage the culinary tailwind that we have from Michelin Guide and some of the other, and the 20-year anniversary of Euphoria and some of the other things that we've done in the past 12 to 24 months. So really excited to see that come online in just after maybe Q1 of this year. And our organization will obviously amplify all of those businesses and places seen in the episodes that feature Greenville. So we're really excited about that. And I'll wrap and turn it back over to Billy.
All right, Billy. Well, thank you, Heath. And Billy, hopefully your technology issues have been figured out. Heath, if you'll unshare, and then
Yeah,
Billy...
now that's the hard part. How the heck do I do that? There we go. Stop sharing. I don't even know how to do that.
I think it's the green button.
Yeah. It shows that I've already stopped sharing on mine.
All right. I don't know.
Is it still sharing on your end?
Yes. Billy, why don't you unshare? I think you had started maybe before Heath had stopped, so that might be part of the issue. Okay, here we go. Now we can see. All right, Billy, we're good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Heath.
All right. All right. Well, tourism guys are not technology guys. Am I right, Heath? All right.
We've had a rough morning so far, that's for sure.
I learned that multiple monitors are not good for screen sharing, so we're back down to 1. So I appreciate the opportunity. Heath, thank you for sharing that great information. I always love to hear about what the great things that your team at Visit Greenville is doing. So Billy Dunlap, I'm Chief Tourism Development Officer at One Spartanburg. I am getting ready to celebrate 4 years here. Prior to that, I was president and CEO of Visit York County and Rock Hill. So excited to share some information with you today. So as you see, there's no better time to be in Spartanburg. One Spartanburg is South Carolina's only consolidated business, economic, and tourism development organization. So think about, in a typical community, you've got Chamber of Commerce, you've got Economic Development, and you've got Convention and Visitors Bureau. In Spartanburg, those are all under one umbrella. As Dean said, Alan Smith is our president and CEO. So love this organization. Our mission is to build a vibrant Spartanburg through business, economic, and tourism development. We really lean in. So we've, since the beginning of One Spartanburg in 2021, we focused on business, economy, and tourism. We have now added talent. So we're adding a fourth leg to that stool. So talent has become a significant part of what we do here. So we've been named the South's Best Cities on the Rise, one of the fastest growing places in the country, and a top tier 2 metro per capita for projects. Accolades continue to come in. So our focus is we want you to dine here. We want you to play here. We want you to explore here. But most importantly, we want you to see yourself here. Focusing on, like he said, the destination marketing that we do lends itself to, if you're looking to relocate a business here, you're looking at our marketing. If you're looking at moving here for a new job, you're looking at our marketing. Even down to, if you're a college student and you're looking, we have 7 colleges and universities in Spartanburg. If you're looking to come here for college, you're looking at our marketing. So destination marketing has a much wider umbrella than it ever has. So everything we do at One Spartanburg is centered around our vision plan. 2017, we launched Vision Plan 1.0. We are now in the final year of Vision Plan 2.0, and we will kick off the planning for 3.0 next month. But all of those things focus around a lot of key initiatives: talent, economy, and place. The tourism side focuses more on the place, with countywide placemaking, reimagining Morgan Square, downtown, all of those things. So those are the 15 initiatives that kind of drive the work that One Spartanburg does on a daily basis. So economy ecosystem. So this kind of lends itself to really what One Spartanburg is about. So from an economy recruitment, we're focusing on corporate, logistics, manufacturing, which leads to utilities, innovation, office, commercial, and then the outside leads to quality of life, which is trails, downtown, residential, retail, and entertainment. So that's really the economy ecosystem of what we're doing here in Spartanburg. So want to give Catherine O'Neill and her team a shout. 2025 wins, $3.5 billion in capital investments, 20 projects that's a part of that. So we continue to really set the pace in South Carolina for economic development. So more to come there. All of our projects that are currently, they're underway, some are completed. So a lot of great things here. So these things are more on the economic development side, but from a tourism perspective, these are all things that we focus on, specifically Fifth Third Park, which has really changed the game for downtown Spartanburg with adding minor league baseball. So this is Project Core, which again may sound like an economic development project, but this is very much a tourism project. You see Fifth Third Park, the AC Hotel, the current parking garage. We will add more office space on the backside of the parking garage on number 5. We will have a new hotel on the corner, which is number 1, with a meeting space between that and another Class A office. And then number 6 is which will be new residential. So about a $500 million project that is some completed, some getting ready to kick off here in downtown Spartanburg. So tourism development, we focus on sports, meetings, leisure, travel, marketing. So on the sports side, from this past fiscal year, We had about 175,000 attendees for our sports tourism events. We used 26 different venues. We hosted 94 events, right at $32 million in direct spending. I can tell you we're getting our calendar year 2025 numbers in now, but that is going to be 100 plus events and about $35 million in direct spending for calendar year 25. So John Mark Freeze, our VP of Tourism Development, continues to do a great job with that. So some events that we've hosted over the last 18 months. We hosted our first national championship, NCAA Division II Field Hockey National Championship we held at the end of 2024. We hosted the men's and women's cross country regionals, Division II, 191 runners on the men's side, 182 on the women's side. We hosted the NJCAA, which is the National Junior College Athletic Association Softball Division II World Series. That was hosted at Tiger River Park over a 5-day span. And then just recently, we hosted the NCAA Division III Cross Country National Championships. Now, when we first were talking about this event, my thought was, okay, Division III, non-scholarship, this will be a good event. This was our largest event by far, sporting event that we've ever hosted in Spartanburg. We had almost 12,000 attendees for this event. Tremendous following for Division III cross country. So, Division I gives you a little bit more credibility, a little bit more pizzazz, but I tell you, Division III drives the visitation. So one thing that we're really excited about, facility development, is something that we're really focusing on now. This is the new Riverbend Athletic Complex in the city of Woodruff. This is an exciting project for us because this is 4 full-size turf baseball fields, which will be high school, college size, but it also converts to 8 youth fields. So we can do baseball, we can do softball, we can do lacrosse, soccer, 7-on-7, a lot of great things. But the biggest thing for us is that it is a turf facility. It's got a kayak launch, pickleball, a whole lot of other things too. So Woodruff has really done a great job. Lee Bailey, city manager there, really a visionary for what he wants to do for not only his residents, but for sports tourism as well. So from a marketing side, we started the beginning of 2025 with a new campaign called Take a Bite Out of the Burg. And that went across all of our functions with tourism, business, and economy. So, outdoor adventure, time to kick it into high gear. We focused on arts and culture. We focused on culinary, time to pack your stretchy pants. And then we focused on places to stay, focusing on our great hotels in Spartanburg County. So this is some of the collateral that we've been using. You can see when it comes to Take a Bite Out of the Burg, season to your taste, flavor for all appetites is all on the table in Spartanburg, where flavor and fun stack up. A lot of vibrant colors. We're using a new agency of record, Flock and Rally, out of Columbia. They have done a fantastic job, really changing our entire theme as far as what we're doing from a marketing perspective. So these were some of our campaigns that we did in 2025. Generic destination marketing was one. We focused on the city of Spartanburg, economic development, talent attractions. We did a campaign specifically on Black-owned businesses in Spartanburg County. And then we focused on the highlights of our small towns with Landrum, Inman, and Woodruff, focusing on what makes them great communities. Our marketing typically flows in a 3-hour drive market, but there are also things that we focus on specifically from culinary on a 1 hour drive market, focusing on those communities that are coming to Spartanburg for dinner, to celebrate special events, all of those kinds of things. So we are in the process of wrapping up our new Experience Spartanburg website. We will merge the former Visit Spartanburg website, Downtown Spartanburg, and See Yourself in Spartanburg. That will all now be one site under Experience Spartanburg. That will actually launch on Valentine's Day. And then our new destination guide just came out. We have put those in all the welcome centers in South Carolina, as well as all of our hotels. So we are in the process of distributing that now. That's about 100 pages in that destination guide. We're also updating all of our video and photo assets. We've using those. We did a 5-day shoot for our photo project. We're doing new video projects for culinary, nightlife, outdoors, sports, meetings, and then one on Made in Spartanburg. Our social media growth, we have brought in a new director of marketing and a new social media coordinator. And we've seen our social media really grow year over year. Our views have grown 97.5% year over year. Our engagement is up 196%. Our net follower growth up 340%. And our published posts, we've seen an increase in 212%. Bringing that in-house has been a true game changer for us, focusing all of that engagement on what is going on in Spartanburg. Another thing that has really changed the way that we do things, we are using influencers more and more. Hey Social Sarah is doing all of our food, beverage, and family content. Class and Sunshine doing our hidden gems, and then Mackenzie Rancher and her husband Darian have come in and done some lifestyle partnerships. So that is becoming more and more how we reach different markets. So that has been very, very successful. So that's it, Dean. I appreciate it.
Wonderful. Well, a lot to unpack there, and we'll get to it in a minute, but I want to bring in Kelly McWhorter from Discover Greenwood. And Kelly, you've got a lot of exciting things going on this year, including a new outward-facing space in Greenwood that will be different. If you want to share a little bit about what you've got going on.
Okay, I'm going to try and do the magical share screen. Let's see if I can do it. All right. Am I in presentation mode yet? No. Can y'all see my slides now?
You're in presentation mode.
All right.
So you have mastered it better than Billy or Heath. So good job.
Okay. Well, the big news on the street in Greenwood, South Carolina is that we are moving. We are currently housed in the Art Center at Greenwood. They have been wonderful partners. We have grown with them, and now we are growing even more. And we are relocating just down the street to 104 Main Street. This has been a vacant building here in town. We call it the Powell's building, and it's been vacant for quite some time, but the city purchased it. And it's a great fit and certainly poised for something like a destination center. So we were blessed to have funding from the capital project sales tax, and our reserves were in a good place. So we decided to go ahead and get started before the tax was due back to us. And we should be moving in April, hopefully. Every day is a little different with construction, as y'all know, but you can see the plan below. It's an odd looking little storefront, but we're grateful for the services of Davis and Floyd and all that they have done to make this and maximize the space to be as functional as possible. You can see some of the progress that we're making right now. That is the front entrance. And then below that, the wall that you see is going to be the information area. There'll be touchscreen monitors where you can see different videos about Greenwood, obviously brochure space, photo ops, and then we're going to have a really, really cool front desk area with some living walls, hopefully installed behind that. That kind of keeps our reputation as a horticulturally centric community at the forefront. Excuse me. Next, I think some of the folks on this call might have visited Oregon Station's construction site when you were all here for the Downtown Academy. And I'm happy to report that progress is still taking place. They had a little bit of a dry period in the fall, but they are back at it and working hard on this. This is going to be similar to the Gather in Greenville or Vaughn's in Simpsonville or the mill at, I think it's called the mill at Fountain Inn. It's going to be similar to that. A lot of different spaces. We're going to have a flagship restaurant, flagship brewery. There'll be outdoor space for concerts, etc. So it's still in the construction phase and the business development phase, but this is located right off of Main Street on Oregon Avenue. The building has a really unique history. It was Greenwood's main go-to store. It was called Dixie Hardware, and they sold everything from guns to wedding dresses in this store. And it's been vacant for many, many years. And thanks to our partners at Greenwood Communities and Resorts, Greenwood Development, they saw a vision for something that it could be, and they're making it happen. They do have a Facebook page. It's Oregon Station. If you just search Oregon Station on Facebook, you can get video updates. They're really good about going through and videoing the progress. So it's really interesting. So I would encourage you to do that and keep up with the progress. I'm hopeful that we'll be opening that in the next, maybe in the summer, hopefully before festival season kicks off. And it'll just be a really huge asset and one of Greenwood's newest attractions. Another thing we're doing, we are almost 20 years in existence. I've been here 20 years, and we've been through a lot of different branding campaigns and marketing campaigns, and we're going to introduce another marketing campaign called Only in Greenwood. It's a new message that really works on a lot of different mediums and a lot of different levels. In the first quarter, we're going to kick it off with a campaign called Fresh Start Only in Greenwood, where we will build brand awareness, and we will integrate this in the grand opening of our new destination center, which basically will be a sales center for Greenwood. And we're going to use it for paid social and programmatic. You'll see this in the Greenville-Spartanburg Airport. We have space at one of the kiosks at the Greenville-Spartanburg Airport. So you will see this, and you'll see Greenwood have a constant presence in those airport kiosks moving forward for 2026. So that's an update. We've got a lot going on. We're already gearing up for the summer. And I know Greenville and Spartanburg mentioned sports tourism, and we are alive and well with that. We've got the South Carolina State Singles Championship that's going to be held here in Greenwood tomorrow through Sunday. I need everybody to do a no rain dance for us, because you can't play tennis in the rain. So we're excited about hosting that, and we will host that again next year along with a few other state events and tournaments. So what will we do without sports tourism? It is definitely vital to the economic development component of Discover Greenwood and all of the CVBs that are with us today. So,
And Kelly, I think for some who don't know, one of your biggest weeks also is in early April, when the Masters is not that far away from you guys. So, it doesn't always have to be something located in your community to be of value, right?
that is correct. We are about an hour from Augusta, and we do some pretty innovative things to market Greenwood. One of the big things we do is geofencing. So if you are at Augusta and you obviously you have to turn your phone off, and when you turn it back on, you get in your car and you're checking those golf scores, our ad will pop up for Discover Greenwood. It's usually a Masters related golf campaign ad, and it really has been hugely successful in the last 3 or 4 years that we've been doing that campaign.
Great. Well, thank you. So we'll finish
Sure.
up with Tim, and then I want to have a little bit of a Q&A. So Tim, as we mentioned, Tim Todd, who is gracious to join us on this national holiday, as he reminded me of his good friend Elvis's birthday from Memphis. Tim is the director of Discover Upcountry, which is a regional entity created by the state. So Tim, I'll turn it over to you for a couple minutes.
Okay, Dean, as you know, you need to give me a time limit and have a bell to ring because I'll keep on going. We were talking yesterday, and he said I started talking about regional programs all around the state, and he said we don't have time for a history lesson. I'm like, okay, well, you're going to get a little bit of one anyway because I think it kind of needs it for the context of it. Basically, my elevator speech is we try to get people to come here, spend all their money, go home with empty pockets and a smile on their face. So we've been doing that for Discover Upcountry was founded in 1978. Kind of got up and rolling with an executive director in 1980. He retired in 89. I came in the fall, November of 89. So it's only been a short 36 years that I've been here and seeing such a huge transformation, of course, in Greenville and Spartanburg, but a lot of areas of the whole upstate. And so we represent 6 of the 10 counties, the 10 at the top. So Anderson, Cherokee, Greenville, Oconee, Pickens, and Spartanburg. There are regional offices across the whole state, but it was not done as a master plan. So here's comes the little history lesson part. The first one was really created in 1968, which is the Santee Cooper Country Counties Promotion Commission. They were basically started promoting fishing around the Santee Cooper Lakes. So that's what got started, but several others started on. So PD Tourism came on in 74. We came on 78. So on and on. I think Old 96, which has three of the counties are in 10 at the top, Abbeville, Lawrence, and Greenwood. Was founded, I think, in 83, something like that. So it was not one master plan. It kind of evolved over a period from really 1968 to the early 90s. So now every region of the state has a regional tourism office. And the question we get a lot, and we'll put so collectively there are 11 organizations. It's called the South Carolina Association of Tourism Regions, or SCATTR. We get referred to as the scatterbrains quite frequently for obvious reasons sometimes. But again, our job is to bring people into the state. Now, while we're the same as far as promoting tourism, I call us apples, oranges, and fruit salad a lot of times because we operate a little bit differently. Some operate visitor centers, some actually host and create and manage events. Some are just pure marketing. It just depends on your region and your assets in your area. 4 of the 6 counties we have CVBs. Visit Greenville, visit Anderson, visit Oconee, and 1 Spartanburg. And so we work closely with Billy and Heath and Neil and Anderson and now Phil Shirley, actually, and visit Oconee to make sure we're working together, complementing each other, not competing with each other, working together on projects that make sense, where it makes sense to work together, that type of thing. So one of the questions Dean asked me yesterday was like, well, why do we need regional groups versus, you have the state tourism office and you have the, CVBs or local chambers. And I didn't think about this yesterday, but I thought about it this morning. And I was like, why do we need an upstate alliance? Every county has an economic development office or economic development commission. So why do you need one that covers 10 counties? Well, most of y'all on this call know the reason better than I do on why it makes sense. So my thing's always been working together works. So for, I think, numerous reasons, having regional offices like ours helps complement what Kelly does in Greenwood with Barbara Ware and the Old 96 District Tourism Commission, and then what we work with Heath and Billy and all the others in our area to make sure we're paddling all in the same direction. Dean also asked about funding a little bit because that's what we get asked a good bit too, and we're funded partly through the state through appropriated funds from Parks, Recreation, and Tourism's budget, and then we get some of the state accommodations tax kind of off the top. When it goes to Columbia, a portion of that comes back to us. And then we also apply on the local level for accommodations tax. And that's the bulk of our budget, a couple of other grants and some advertising in our publications, that type of thing.
So Tim, one thing that you mentioned to me yesterday, and you mentioned the Upstate Alliance. I thought it was interesting that a lot of times there will be magazines or publications or stuff that will go to PRT, and then PRT often then filters to you to then work on those in your part of the state.
yeah,
So and that's very similar to what happens in economic development, where there's folks that go to Commerce, and Department of Commerce then sends it to the Upstate Alliance and then down to the local economic development. So, I think that's an important role that you all play in helping to enhance some of the promotions from magazines and other media sources that come to this region.
sure. Yeah, we work with them. I just had a call earlier this week with Janie Baker, who's the director of PR for PRT, and she works with directly with PRT. They have an ad agency and a PR firm that they work with. So a lot of those leads are come through them, and depending on the publication, or now the influencer, it's more and more of the influencers versus just traditional media. They like, okay, well, they're going to be in the upstate for a couple of days, and then maybe down to Columbia, and then down to the coast. And so we work with them. We're kind of the boots on the ground to help arrange that. And if they're coming to Greenville, then Heath's group's probably is going to be involved in it, and same with wherever they might be. So and so we help coordinate a lot of that, because we have the relationships on that with our local vendors and partners and everything. So that's one of our jobs. Some way, at least every week, and typically every day, we're talking with someone with PRT about something with state parks, or something with marketing, or something with advocacy and legislation, something like that. So we're kind of in effect the field office for PRT, in a way, because we're kind of the local experts, or at least we're supposed to be. So but yeah, one of the many things that we do with to promote.
Tim, I appreciate that. I want to finish with kind of a question that you can kick off and then go to everybody else.
Okay.
This is the 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States and the Revolutionary War. There were so many skirmishes and battles in South Carolina, and a lot of them in the upstate. What specifically around the 250th anniversary and the Revolutionary War pieces are you seeing that are happening this year? I know there's been a commission and a lot of things going on. So I'll start with you, and then any of the rest of you can answer kind of what you have planned around the 250th anniversary.
Yeah, well, for a couple, probably 3 or 4 years, we've been putting more of a focus. We've always promoted, Cowpens, Kings Mountain, Walnut Grove, Musgrove Mill, the sites that are Revolutionary War sites, and talking about Andrew Pickens and Daniel Morgan and General Robert Anderson. And four of our 6 counties are named for Revolutionary War generals. So we've been doing that for years. This year, again, past 2 or 3 years, we've been working with our partners across the state and with PRT to promote Rev War. So there's a dedicated Rev War site that's part of PRT's website. And so there's content there that we've partnered with them creating, both in articles and in media. We're doing some over-the-top advertising, OTT advertising right now. We've been doing that for I think this is our 3rd year of doing that, and we'll continue to do this even after this for a few years. We just did a thing that will broadcast within the next 2 weeks called Travels with Darley. Some of you may have heard something about that. It's a show that's been on PBS for about 18 years. She's a Myrtle Beach native, actually, so she was excited to get back into South Carolina. So there'll be shows that are highlighting Rev War sites in South Carolina. But there's tons of things going on. I've met with some of Heath's team just last month to talk about a lot of things that they've got working on. So yeah, it'll be a lot of that. So just keep an eye on what's going on with that. So
Great.
I'll let Heath and
thank you, Tim. Anybody else want to share about what you've got going on?
I just know there's a couple documentaries happening, and the Cherokee County History Museum putting on some stuff up in Gaffney.
Great. Thank you, Rhodes. Kelly, I think you had a comment.
Yeah, we're part of the Greenwood County 250 Coalition. I'm co-chairing that. We're pretty well organized and working on a lot of different projects. I have a call with Fox Carolina in just a little bit to talk about how we can get some more exposure to the site of the first bloodshed battle of the Red War, which is right here in Greenwood County at the 96 historic site. So we're geared up and rolling.
Great. Heath or Billy, anything going on in your areas?
Yeah, our group has been very active. They've brought in Catherine Harvey is now a part of their group, and we've actually got a meeting today to talk through, our continued plans. But we've got great sites in Spartanburg County, and the group that is behind that is working very hard. We will be very active on that coming forward.
Yeah, and just to sort of reiterate, what Tim said is we're not our organization is not necessarily creating anything new. We're trying to fold in the work of the commission and these other entities into what we're already doing. We believe it'll be a great additive experience. I think we're still trying to figure out what realistic demand growth opportunities there might be. You're fighting a little bit of an uphill battle, right? I mean, even though the work's been going on for a couple of years, places like Boston and Philadelphia have, a lot greater awareness and history. So I think we're trying to wrap our heads around how much new demand is there out there versus how can we make this additive to the experience that people are already going to have while they're here, and can we leverage these types of assets and experience to extend the stays of the people who might already be interested in traveling here. So we're still learning, but we're really folding the work that's been happening over the last couple of years that we've been really embedded in, and trying to support. But how do we add it into what we're already doing?
And I think you may make a good point, Heath, and I'll kind of wrap up with this. Even though there are destination, and organizations in different cities and counties, the idea is how do you keep people in the upstate longer to stay and experience all the things that we have going on. So, the partnerships and having the regional offices like Tim and the others is important. And then partnerships with I know you all have worked on sports tourism together and the Revolutionary War. Now everybody is playing a role. So it really is another example of kind of how as a region, you have many individual places for people to go, but it's about how you share what we have, and that we have so many different unique things. And I think that's hopefully you've heard that today from all four of our folks speaking, and we've got others, as you mentioned, Coney and Pickens and others who have tourism folks who are engaged in that realm. So I encourage you to if you're interested and your organization engages around tourism and things for visitors, to work with your local CVB and across the region. And hopefully you've learned some things today about what's happening and how tourism is more than just heads in beds, as he said. It is really a part of the total quality of life for the people who live here, and then also for people who come here and visit. So thank you, Heath and Billy and Kelly and Tim, for your time. And thank all of you for being with us today. Our next TAT chat is on February 12th. I am finalizing a speaker for that, so I don't have one to announce today, but I promise it will be interesting, just like today was. And hopefully you'll plan on joining us on February 12th at 10 a.m. So again, thank you for being with us today, and have a great rest of the day. And we will talk with you soon.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great
Thank
week.
you.
Bye,
Thank you,
everybody.
Dean.
Thanks, sir. See you later.
Okay.